taste 2011 grape selection.
Yes.
This variety came to taste a little bit.
Mr. Hronsky, I'm standing here now with you at the Košice Wine and Food Festival. Could you tell me something more about Košice wine? What is typical for Košice wine, for the regional wine?
Yes, as we talk about the Slovakian identity against the varieties and style of wine, we should present a lot of very attractive white selections. 80–70% of white are very different with nice refreshing structure and very good extractivity, because the continental climate and very dry autumn, which reflects the traditional varieties as Rhine Riesling, as Welsh Riesling, Grüner in western part and in east part, especially for the varieties which are much more milder, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris, Gewürztraminer, and also in Tokaj region, a lot of our local varieties as Furmint, Lipovina and Muscatgen. Of course, if we are talking about the red selections, because a lot of consumers accept very intensively deep, fruity kind of red selections, we should talk about a lot of new varieties which are planted in Slovakia or Central European area from the beginning of 50s, the last century, where a lot of our specialists select new varieties with very good reference against the climate and possibility to make very good full body medium with very balanced structure of tannins, acidity, and of course natural sugar, which is very different for the northern part of the production of the grapes.
Yes, Mr. Hronsky, and tell me something more about what makes it different from, let's say, other wine in the Slovakia. What makes it different, the Košice region? What is, and tell me something about different grapes also.
Of course, about the different grapes, we should explain for a lot of people reflects mostly for international varieties, like Chardonnay, like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot. Of course, everywhere you can find, but especially in Slovakian region, we have after the Phylloxera, this is a very good stable varieties which are autochthone, which came from this part of the country, as well as Menkentraube, as well as Riesling Sylvaner, very nice Grüner Sylvaner from local selected areas, especially varieties which are much more popular for the red, as well Portugieser, Portugal, Modrý Portugal, and also very full body, medium, spicy kind of the Blau Frankish, as well Limburger is known also in German origin. In this part of Europe, we should also talk about the specialties which reflects now around a lot of international competition, as well very light, fresh and tasty rosé wines, which are amazing, and you should look for a lot of references after the judging, after the international competitions like Concours Mondial, like Vinal International, like Austrian Wine Challenge, like Mundus. Everywhere you can find very satisfied Slovakian winemakers with very good appreciation of his last vintages.
Yes. What is so special? We just been to the Tokaj region of Slovakia. Tell me a little bit more about the specialties of Tokaj.
Yes. As well, you can find also in my small book or guide, Slovakian part of Tokaj. It's a very indifferent part of region of 7 villages, which are typical for the region of Tokaj. And historically, they was established as a closed area on the last part of 17th century, which was a unique part of the closed area between the Hungarian and Slovakian origin. Of course, natively, this part of Tokaj is still as a one region with same law, same identities, same climate, same varieties and same selections of all of production. That reason is the historical occasion of the Tokaj region is very popular via the classical botrytic wines, yellow wines, which are mostly preferred for a lot of consumers around the whole world. So it means from 17th to 18th century, a lot of Tokaj winemakers present amazing quality with very good establishing of the structure, because the tough, because the volcanic soil, because the dry climate, and because botrytic cinerea fungus which support very good rices and drying of the during the sunny and dry autumn. So that means that Slovakian Tokaj now in this moment is very popular, modern, refreshing, ferment, spicy kind of wine with nice earthy character, but with good balance between the extractivity and residual sugar. Of course, a lot of our winemakers prefer also classical view of ferment, which is depend of the oaky style or non-oaky style, and also micro-oxygenation inside the classical Genci oak. Opposite of this variety, we prefer also a lot of fruity Lipovina. Lipovina is common in a Hungarian part as a harsh level, which is much more preferred in Slovakian part with nice crispy structure of aroma and a very high level of the fruitness and flower components inside. There's a limbique, as a bouquet of the white flowers and spices, of course. As well, Muscat Jeune or Muscat Joti, Muscat Linel is a very stable variety, one of the oldest in the part of Tokaj, which reflects from the 6th, 7th century as one of the oldest selected variety in the central part of Europe, with very huge intensity of the plantation, especially in the north part of Tokaj. So, as well, around the border of this area, we should support Muscat Jeune as a very fragrant, very fruity and very aromatic, perfume aromatic. But against all of varieties of Muscat, as well, Muscat Alexandria, Muscato, Muscato Asti, Muscat Otonel in Hungary, is much more stable during the aging. So it means if you can put the Muscat Jeune from Tokaj as a stable, genetically stable variety with nice structure of body, with good intensity, they cannot change his character after 5-6 years inside the bottle. So that means it is one of the most stable variety from all of Muscat varieties around the world.
Okay, thank you very much. And what do we have on the table here, Mr. Hronsky?
Yes, as I can invite a lot of specialists of the wine, this variety is going as a bestseller in the central part of Europe because all of countries around the Donau River are depending for a lot of red varieties, a lot of very good, huge varieties which can reflect against the soil identity, against the sunny days, against the quantity of energy which reflects the quality of the grapes. So it means Dunaj is this variety was crossed from the 3 varieties as a hybridization, is a hybrid, but with very good genetical stable character. So it's not a variety as well as a lot of old-fashioned varieties. First mother is called Muscat Boucher. Muscat Boucher is very resistant variety. Second variety is Portugieser as a father variety, which was made the first crossing during the 1954. But after the plantation of the young entities of Dunaj, there was a little bit problem with the process of making the plants and differentiation of the flowers. That was the question how our selections make the third crossing with the third variety Saint Laurent. So we have the Muscat Boucher as a first variety, second one is a natively Portugieser, and the third one is Saint Laurent. This identity reflects very good stable variety. After the 46 years of the testing, of planting around, making the wine, we established this variety in 2001 as a right stable variety, and it's possible to plant over all of our areas except Tokaj, because in Tokaj we need to plant only the specified Tokaj varieties, and it's very successful also in Moravia, in Czech Republic, in Hungary, close to Donau River and Donau region, and also in Austria, close to Burgenland. Now it's coming as a new entity from the central heart of the wine growing Europe.
Mr. Hronsky, thank you very much. Can you take a sip now of the wine?
So, if you ask about more questions about Slovakian wines, next year is coming this guide in English. So you should observe all of materials about the varieties, about our law, about our classification, about our gastronomy, about our winemaking activities and winemakers inside, with a lot of facts around the native varieties and the wines inside the one book as a Slovak wine guide.
Okay. Thank you very much,
and
cheers, Mr. Hronsky.
Cheers and thank you. Enjoy.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Enjoy Slovakian wine.
Bye-bye.